Hi everybody. Let's see, my camera is not the right camera. There we go. Everybody hear me? Let's see if I can get myself up here. I'm a couple minutes early. I turn. Okay, let's turn the volume down. So everyone can hear me. And hello, I came a day early. Anybody out there? Got all my stuff ready here to go. We're going to be doing the cover today of this, and we're going to be gluing our pages together. Last week we did the stenciling and the stamping, and you should have ended up with stuff like this maybe. These are similar to these. No two pages are ever going to be the same. And that's what's nice about it. But you had 14, I think it was 14 sheets. Let's see, 3, 5, 10. Yeah, 14 sheets that we jelly plated and then stenciled and stamped on to get them to look like this. Just all kinds of stenciling and stamping on them with different colors, as you can see. So they should have turned out like this, and then you just fold them all in half. So you get a stack like this. So this will be the insides of your book. Now, if you did, like I did some writing here, it really doesn't matter if it's upside down or right side up or whatever. You can go through and maybe adjust your sheets the way you want them in order. That's up to you. I don't. I just randomly stick them in there. But we're going to glue these today. See, like this, the writing's upside down. If I wanted to, I just turn it around here. Turn it around like that. So when you open it, the stamp that has the writing on it is right side up. So you might want to go through and look at yours and see how they're situated before you start gluing. And I think they turned out really, really pretty. I like them a lot. And then this one is going to be the giveaway. It's going to be to subscribers only. And see, now that's upside down. And it's going to be whoever comments that is a subscriber on my channel. So this is what we're going to glue today. And I'm adding 3 small envelopes so I could put in the back. I think I'm going to do it this way. Smallest first. I got a blue one, orange one, and then just a cream one. And I'm not going to do anything to them. Not right yet, anyway. I'm going to let you do whatever you want. But I'm going to put them all in here. I'm going to add them to the back with the flap side towards the front, not towards the fold. But I'm just going to add them in the back, and they will be glued in there with the pages. So you're going to just position them where you want them. So the first thing we're going to do is glue our pages together. We're not sewing or anything. This is just gluing. So, and I'm pretty sure everybody has these clips here, like this, or something that will clamp. So what we do is we just put 2 of these clips on like this. I'm going to clip that end. Then we're going to make sure they're all even. Pound them up against the desk. Make sure they're all even. Clip the other end. Not too close to where you're going to glue, because you're going to glue up here. So you're going to make sure they're all even. And then I'm going to take, this is just for, so it'll stand up. Because now it'll stand up. So I can glue them. I just put 2 on the bottom there. And they're my feet. So I could stand it up and glue it. So I want to make sure it's straight and squeezed together as good as possible. The center is not going to be as tight as the ends. So I have tacky glue, original Aleene's tacky glue, or I have this PVA, clear PVA craft glue. It's I ordered this off of Amazon, and I like it a lot. Today we're just going to use Aleene's, just any white glue that you're going to need. Let's see if I can get this. Started here. Okay, we're not going to start it on there, but this is what we want to do first. Yeah, it's coming out. Is we will take the glue, and what we'll do is we'll just put glue all down the center of it. And you're going to let it, you're going to kind of rub it in. Like push it down in between the little cracks there. Get my paper towel here. Just rub it down in there. It won't go that far into the book. And then I got a baby wipe here. And I'm just going to wipe off any that's on the edge there. Don't wipe too much, you wipe your ink off. Because these are not waterproof. If you used distress inks. So what we're going to do is after we get that glue on there, we're going to take another one of these, and we're going to take a piece of wax paper, just a little piece. And we're going to put it over the center so it's popping up a little. We're going to take another bull clip, or whatever you call them, and we're going to clip it on there in the middle. And then while we're doing the top, this will be drying. As you can see, the glue has oozed out from the center a little. So we want to let that dry. And just for the sake of it, I'm just going to add a little bit more on these ends. You'll know. There we go. Want it to look kind of white because it will dry clear. Okay, so there's my contraption. That's how I do it. I'm going to move these up a little bit. Yeah. You just don't want to get them glued to your book. Yeah, you can always adjust. There. Now we're just going to sit this off to the top here, up here, and we're just going to let it dry while we're working on the cover. Glue all over my hand. Okay, so our cover, if you folded your sheets, you're going to need a piece of manilla folder. That's all I used. And I cut mine 8 3/4. I want to write that down. By 5 3/4. And then you add your whatever size your spine is you think you're going to need. Mine was this is if you used 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock to make your sheets. Mine, I made mine extra big, and then I had to refold it. If you see where I had to rescore it, but that's not going to matter. You're not going to see that when we're done covering it, if you have to do that. But my spine, I only made it 1/2 inch. Yeah, so that's only 1/2 inch for my spine. And that gives me plenty of room to add my signatures when it's dry. So I would add 1/2 inch to the 8 3/4, because this is the 8 3/4. And then add 1/2 inch, and then you want to find your center and mark a 1/4 inch on each side, and then score. That's how I did it. You just find your center, which would be 4 3/4. That's your center, so you're going to score at 5, and you're going to score at 4.5. That gives you a 1/2 inch spine. Make any sense? Find your center, which is 4 3/4, and then you're going to score at 5 and 4.5. Okay, so once I did that, on this one, I'll let you guys work on that while I'm telling you about this one. This one, I went ahead and rounded the corners because I just thought the rounded corners looked better. And it's just, they won't bend up and stuff like a pointy one. And then when we're done gluing our book together, we can go ahead. Or you can round your corners before you glue your book together, before you glue your pages together, sorry. And you can go in, when you're done gluing, you could go in and add, like I added here, some marker or some white paint pen, Posca pen, and, you know, just doodle a little and make it look different. Highlight stuff, just to give it some more interest. But I'm going to go ahead and round my corners on here. And I don't remember which one I used. This one is We Are Memory Keepers, and you get the 3 sizes: tiny, medium, and large. So I'm going to try the medium and see what it looks like. Yep, it's the medium. So I would just round my corners with the medium punch before I do anything to the top. Okay. So there we have the rounded corners. Then you take white pieces of napkin. Let me put my glue top back on. These are the backings of napkins. Make sure they're single sheets. But what I did was I just took pieces that I had from doing, I'm gonna move her, from doing napkins, using napkins. And what I use is matte medium to glue mine down. But I cannot stand matte medium getting on my hands. So what I'm going to do, because it's just so hard to get off. So as just in case I can't stand it, you're going to need a paintbrush, some water to put your paintbrush in after you're done. But this is one of the Teflon mats. You're going to take your matte medium, you're going to squirt some on your cover. This is the outside cover. And you're just going to make sure it's spread all around where you're going to add you want to do the whole, what you're going to do is you're going to crunch it up, let it crunch up however it wants. And then you're going to take, once you get that on, you don't want to do too big of a piece at a time. See how it's crunched up? You're going to take your matte medium and put some over the top. Make sure it stays down, and you get those, hold on, the texture. And you're probably not just going to put one coat on, you're probably going to put several coats. You're going to get this texture. I don't know if you can see it, but it's crinkly and looks kind of cool. So what we'll do is we'll put some more on here. And then you're just going to keep adding your crunched up napkins however you like it. I'm going to take this off. This is going to, don't worry about the edges. You can cut all them off later. And if you see a spot where you think it needs some wrinkly stuff on it, just stick some on there and bunch it up. like this. It's really super simple, and it gives you a lot of texture in your cover. Make sure it lays down flat. When you get your first coat on, you can go back over and put another coat on if you want. Right now, I'm just going to slop some down. It goes pretty fast if you, and just scrunch it up. This has got some printing from the napkin still on it, like a second print, but you're not going to see it when it's all done. So we don't have any down here. So you're going to use, make sure you got it saturated when you're doing it. When you're done, too, after it dries and stuff, if you think you got too high of a spot, you got too much in one spot, you could take some sandpaper or an emery board and file it down. Take that off, get that off there. So that's about it for the cover. You're gonna do both sides. I just think this is so cool. You could do this on the front of a book, like we're doing now, like on a regular journal or something. Give it so much texture. Right now, I'm just gonna pull this excess away. And then if you don't want to let it naturally dry, see, I need some in here. I can see where I've missed. So you could just take pieces and add them on. Yeah, I missed some in here. This is why I use gloves, because I like using my hands. Oops, I don't like that. Too big of a blob. And then when we're done, I am going to go ahead and dry mine off a little with my heat gun. Just one little piece here. It's not. And see what we got. So, in the meantime, don't let your brush dry out. I stuck mine in water. So if this is loud, please close your ears. But I'm going to dry it off a little. Not sticking down there. I'm just holding it up so it doesn't get super, a lot of moisture underneath. It's going to take a few minutes. And it doesn't matter that it's got some printing on it because you're going to cover all that up. Hi, Queen Bee. How are you? Oh, thank you for sharing my stream. Oh, well, you need to subscribe. Maybe you'll get to win this little book I'm making. Did you see it? We're making one like this. You're not going to have the cover. You're going to be able to do whatever you want. This is mine. And we're making this little book here, a book like this. And then I'm going to give the one I'm making away. So right now we're making the cover. And yes. And we're gluing the pages together. We got them all glued up. As you can see, the glue is drying a little. So we got that in its little contraption here. But there's our pages. And this is our cover that we're going to be finishing. And then it's going to be given away to one of my subscribers as soon as it's done, put together. So if you're a subscriber, you have a chance of winning it. Thank you for being here. So we're going to dry this, try to get this a little bit drier so we can turn it over and do the other side. This is just napkins and matte medium. I really appreciate you showing up. Oh, thank you. I thought it was cute. You can use it for anything you want. I'm using mine. Mine is being used for the Art by Marlene die cut books. I love her. And I have a bunch of her stamps and stencils. But yeah, that's what I'm using mine for. I'm just adding her stuff in here, making little collages. I made a pocket for the front of this. And because really you don't want to use liquid on here unless you're going to, when you make your pages, seal them with a spray. I would take them outside and spray them with a sealant if you wanted to do it so you use them with liquid, like, doing a art layout or something. Because if you use ink pads for your stenciling and your stamping, it should be permanent, but you should use permanent. But I didn't. I used distress ink pads on mine. On my pages I made here, so they are movable once wet. But Okay, so this is kind of dry. I don't know if you could see all the texture in it. Yeah, you can see some of it. Don't worry about that black. It's not going to show up. But if you wanted to add more after it's dry, you can. Right now, I'm just going to flip it over because I'm on the craft mat. I'm just going to flip it over, move my heat gun so I don't get stuff all over it. And what I'm going to do is just add some more matte medium. Get my paintbrush out of the water. And like here, I can just flip this over and glue it down. Oops. Once you get this all jazzed up with your napkins, it will be much sturdier. It won't be so flimsy. Right now, I just want to get the edges down. That was too thick. And we can cut off some of them edges that won't stay down. So let's add some more on here. We're just going to take some more napkin. Let it crumble, crease and wrinkle, and every which way. Let it wrinkle, get it down. This is kind of fun to do because you really, most times, you don't want stuff to wrinkle. This is giving it texture. And like right now, I'm going to add some matte medium. And I'm going to start pulling this off. So we could get this laid down. You want to make sure you get enough matte medium to make it those creases and stuff lay down. And then if you need an extra piece somewhere, just get you a little piece. Like I said, we could cut off those edges later. We're going to get some more. These are my measurements I put on there. Just slop it on there. Okay, let's see what you're saying. Yes, good luck to everyone. Tune in, but shy to type. Oh. Oh, that's cool. Yes, we all get that. Artist block. It's awful when you get it. Like I do, like you said, you just go and watch people work. Excuse me, I need a drink. And you can get inspiration from other people watching them do their thing, which is fun. So then you'll think of something to do. Usually, when I'm watching somebody else, I usually get ideas of what I could do. which is so helpful. That's why I love YouTube. It helps to watch other artists. You learn so much. I don't know if I'm subscribed to you, but I will check it out when I'm done here today. If I'm not, I will subscribe to you. We all could use the help. I'm trying to get to 500. I'm going to have a nice giveaway. There's a video on here that shows what I'm giving away. Might add some extras in there. I'm not sure at this point. Let's get another one here. What else gonna I know I showed 3 sets of stuff that I'm gonna be giving away. So you want to check that out to subscribe to us. I think there's 3 different giveaways so far. But I think I have 408, 409 subscribers, something like that. And when I reach 500, we're going to do a good giveaway. So go check that video out. You'll see what's going to be in there. Hi, KK. How you doing? Trying to read chat and craft at the same time is kind of hard. So we're just making our little cover for our journal. Adding texture with these napkins. I want some this way. Yeah. This is so easy to get texture with these things. But you just got to make sure you got a lot of glad you could come today, KK. Like I was telling Queen Bee, I'm having a 500 subby giveaway soon. I'm gonna make sure there's lots of matte medium on here. There's a video up on it on my channel. What I'm giving away when I reach 500. Okay, we are going to close that. Make sure everything's down good. This is matte medium, that's why I have gloves on. I can't stand that stuff on my hands. So there's that side. This is all going to be covered up. I don't know if you've seen the actual, this is what we're making. She's not going to be on there, but I'm going to be giving away one just like, almost like this. But I'm using this. This one is mine. I'm using Art by Marlene stuff in here. But this is what we're making right now, this texture front and cover. So pretty. I love this. But we're doing the cover, and I'm going to dry this a little bit. If you want to go back, and I have 2 other videos making this. Yeah, I made that one. I showed it in there's a series. It shows you how to make them. I show you how to make them. Is this thing, does it stay loud or does it tone down? I don't know. Can you tell me whether it stays loud or goes lower? Can you hear me over it? Oh, thank you. I was afraid it was staying loud. I don't want to scream. Okay, I'm going to try to dry it a little bit more. Yeah, I made that one, and hold on just a sec. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I made that one a while back. I can't remember who I got the idea from, but I remember watching it on YouTube. And she showed us how to do these pages like this. And turned out great. So I just used my pages to make a little book. And then this was my idea with the cover, to use the napkins. We've got napkins on both sides. This side is drying. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes and I'll explain this. Our pages that we made in the previous video are drying. I mean, I glued them together. I've clipped them. There's 3 envelopes in here too that I added. But these are the pages we made in the previous videos. I showed you how to do. So, and it's a lot of fun. Especially once you jelly plate your squares, I mean, like you're stacking them. Excuse me. And you go in and you start to stencil and stamp and stuff, and you see them come together. It's amazing to watch. I mean, to see how cool they turn out. So what we're doing is we're making the cover, which is just a piece of manilla envelope. We're adding the white crinkled up back of napkins to make the texture. And as you can see, this has got lots of texture. And then once it's dry, we rounded the corners, and we will round the corners of all our pages. Once it's dry, I used Alchemy Waxes to get all this color on there. And it's pearly and shiny, and it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful cover. And it's pretty sturdy now that you got the napkins on there. But it needs to dry faster. And then we will cut the edges off, trim it up when we're all done. It's so hard to try to find a time slot on YouTube that isn't filled. There's no time slot, so you just do what you can. I was going to go on Thursday, but I didn't like that time slot, so I thought I'd do Wednesdays at 2. Right now I'm only going to go once a week. And if I get more subscribers and more people watching and wanting to do what I'm doing, then I might go on more often. More people wanting to watch what I'm doing. Much easier. It's much easier to have somebody to go on with, I think. I think it would be much, much better that way that 2 people could watch chat. Anyway, this isn't going to dry anytime soon. So I will show you what I'm working on now. We're going to let that sit up here and get some air under it. Let it just sit there for a few while I show you what I've been up to. I've been up to making Rosemary's needle book. Is that what it is? Thread book. I bought her kit and been making, I started it, and I used this paper, 2 different kinds of paper. So I got to put all of this together yet. But I made all the boxes. Yeah, I know. That is awful. KK, that's awful when you have to interrupt somebody's. So I'm working on that right now. And Rosemary comes on tonight to work on the other journal. I made this or showed it in a live that I made out of black plastic letters that I tried to sell on YouTube, but nobody bought any. I don't know why. I just took the BOO, glued them together. And believe it or not, I could not find tissue paper anywhere that was white with black spider webs. So I went down to our Dollar Tree and I was walking around the end of an aisle, and there hanging was paper lanterns, Halloween paper lanterns, and it had the spider web tissue on it. So I bought a couple and ripped them apart to use the tissue on these. These are just black letters, black plastic letters. And then I bought some hands from Dollar Tree, some skeleton hands, and I bent them. I used my heat gun to heat them up because they're plastic, and bent them around. And then used texture paste and stuff to make them look like they just crawled out of the ground. So they would look like, let's see if, yeah, there it is. Like they just crawled out of the grave. Then I made a broom out of a stick and some, what do they call that stuff? Burlap threads. Yeah, a piece of burlap ribbon. Burlap threads. A Tim Holtz gravestone, wrote rest in peace on there. And made me a little boo for Halloween. Sit in my room. And see the black cat and the bee. He's peeking out, and the pumpkin. And then we have a hanging spider. And a hanging skeleton that is in 2 pieces, so he dangles. Just thought it was cute. Turned out really well. I like it. Let's see, what else have I been doing? Oh, Rosemary's making these. This is what we worked on. She's doing Asian. I don't care for Asian. Thanks, KK. So I'm doing something different. I used this really old picture from an old calendar. I just love this picture. And I glued it on my front. And then I used some paper I got, and I don't even remember where I got it. But then I put the lighthouse on the back. And that was from some wallpaper. But I used that, and then she's got the spine here. I used the material on. And then you can add your signatures, and she sells that. Or she's got that. This was a kit she sold. But I didn't use, it expands if you need it to. If you add stuff in, it'll expand, which is pretty cool. But she sold this kit in her Etsy shop, and that's what we're working on. So we'll work on this tonight. She's going to show us something new. So that's fine so far. She is such a talent, I'll tell you what. Rosemary Morris. She's on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. She is a talent. But this is just chipboard that I painted and added some metal corners too, because I didn't like the way they were turning out. Yeah, her kit, and then you watch her, you buy her kit, and then you watch her, and she shows you how to do stuff, make the kit and stuff. So that was cool. Working on that. And this isn't going to dry. Let's go ahead and trim around it. It's still damp, and our papers aren't dry yet either. So go ahead and trim around this if I can. Really, you want to wait for it to completely dry. Which it's not right now. It's kind of, because it will stiffen up, and it's not stiffening up right now. But you want to make sure you trim all your edges off. And then when it's dry, you'll see if you need any more texture or anything. I don't think this needs any. I think this is just fine the way it is. But this is going to be somebody's. It's going to be given away. Yes, Rusty Peacock. Okay. So trim that up nice and even. And then when we get to the corners, we'll do that later with our corner rounder. We'll re-round those things. It's starting to dry out. It's not tacky. Stiffening up a little. I want to show how to do the wax. You don't have to use Alchemy Waxes. You could just use paint. You could color it all one color and highlight it with something, or I like the variety because the pages are a variety of color. Okay, so there's the edges trimmed up. Just get them as nice as you can. And if you have to, you might have to put some more glue down, like right there. You see it's coming loose. Let's move all this stuff. So what are you working on, KK? Working on anything? Wonder if I could use this on there now. If it's still too wet. No, I can't. Still too damp. Queen Bee says she has a crafter's block. We all know how that goes. I was that way for a long time. Couldn't get in any mood to do anything. You need a tiger pendant? Ooh, that sounds pretty. Do you sell your stuff, don't you, KK? Queen Bee, do you sell anything? Do you have an Etsy shop or anything? I thought you did. Have I bought from you before? I think I have. I bought stuff from a lot of people. And you could tell it in my craft room. Let me go in and see if I can. I'm going to take my gloves off now, since that stuff's dry enough to not worry about. Let's see how this is working. This is drying nicely. It's almost clear now. Our pages. Is it okay if I add you as a moderator, KK? You could put your YouTube channel on here, or where you sell at. Could add you as a moderator. You too, Queen Bee, if you want. Just let me know. Some people don't like it. Some people do. Okay, so this is still damp. Well, that's where I am. I live in Indiana. Where are you at in Indiana? You visiting? Okay. There you go. You should be in blue now. You can add your YouTube channel or your whatever you want from there. It's fine with me. never know who's going to come back and watch these later. Oh, that's so sad. I thought, did you post that on Facebook? KK, I remember seeing that. Hey, thanks. Yeah, shout out. 7 of them tuning in. Okay, so this is getting dry. So I'm going to get out my waxes. My corners, I trim my corners up, trim the edges up. So I'm going to get out my waxes. Well, thank you, Queen Bee. I will make you a moderator too. There you go. So these are the Alchemy Waxes. I don't know if anybody has any. Let's set this off over here. But you don't have to have these. You can use, when they first started making these, they made them in these pans and these little pan things. But people were complaining of them drying out. They're hard to open too. But you can get these in matte and pearlescent or whatever you call it. But they're prima. I get them from Spectrum Art. You're welcome, Queen Bee. You can add your YouTube channels, ladies, or your Facebook pages or whatever you like. Add your links in there for people. KK, I hope I'll keep your uncle in my prayers. It's so sad. 4 strokes in 1 month. That is just hard on your heart. Man. Poor thing. Okay, so you don't have to use Alchemy Waxes. It's textured because it feels like leather almost right now. Because of the napkins, the white napkin part you put on with the matte medium. Like I said, I just made a little ring here of the colors. Wrote them down on here for myself. Now they make them, instead of making them in these, they make them in tubes. So what I do is I'll set that off to the side there. If you don't want to get wax all over your hand, put back on one of the gloves. I'm left-handed, so. No, thank you. So let's try this Fire Ruby. Look at that color. Isn't that pretty? So I'll show you how I do it. Just get some on my finger, and then wherever I want to put it down, I'll just rub it in. Make sure you get enough to cover up your area. And you can see the texture in there. Isn't that beautiful? And then what I did is I just went, as you could see in this one, I just went in different areas and rubbed and went over, you know. But you could do, and then I went back in after I did all the colors and used bronze and gold and stuff like that on top just to highlight the tops. But you can see this is napkin. You can see the texture right there of the, of the napkin edge. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so you could just go in when you're done and highlight the ridges with, so I would just take this and maybe make a spot here, spread it around. And you can, and once this dries, this is permanent. This stuff is. As you can see, I have tons of different colors. Some are flat. They're not shiny. This is our matte color. They're not shiny. This is a matte. It's called Sage Leaves. But I like the shiny on here. This one is called Fire Ruby. I'm going to put some on this side. And then when you're all done, you buff it out too. And it'll really shine. So I just do different colors. And that's what makes the cover. That's how I made my cover. But this is going to be whoever wins it. But when you get it on here, you might want to wipe it up. Once it dries, it's permanent. I don't know about on the craft mat, if it'll stay. But that's what the mat's for, so. Let's look at let's do another color. Let's do Blue Lagoon. Oh, look at that. Is that not beautiful? I'll show you that Blue Lagoon. Look at that. It's gorgeous. You just keep going until you get it like you want it. You can use sprays. You could use paint. If you wanted to, you could just paint it all one color, which would be cool. And then just take some gold leaf or another color that you like and just hit the tops lightly. And that'll show the texture. I'm going to put some right next to this. Kind of made it muddy. Like I said, you can do whatever you want. And like I said, once they're dry, they're permanent. And if you want to, you could dry them with the heat gun. You know, it looks wet, but it will dry. It is a wax. Okay. pretty much dries it once it's... Okay, so what we're going to do is, I've been on here for over an hour, is I thought this was going to be the final one. I thought it would only take 3, but my mistake, it's going to take 4. So what we're going to do is next Wednesday, I will set up a reminder that next Wednesday we will come back on at 2 o'clock, and we will work on your cover, have your cover ready, and then when you're done with your cover, come back to your... What you're going to do is you're going to take the center one off, where we put this center one, let it dry a little bit longer. See how it's down here on the ends, it's dried, but it's all glued together. There's 3 envelopes I added to the back of my stack of papers. But what I'm going to do right now, since it's still drying, I'm going to go ahead and do this while you're working on your cover. And I showed how to put these together earlier. And put down some more glue. You're going to do another layer of glue. While you're working on your cover, this will dry, and it will be ready for next week. When we come back, just leave it sit overnight, just to make sure. Just want to make sure it's on all the edges. Especially the edges. Add in those. So when this dries, it will be ready, at least overnight. And when you take it out of this, don't bend it and peel it. We'll work on it next week. I'll show you. Okay? But work on your cover for next week. Have it ready. It should be dry. And once you take this out, you can go ahead and trim your corners. So, yeah. Or, round your corners. So they'll be ready. So these will all be glued together. And if you're not sure about the glue, you could wait till this dry overnight and put another coat on if you want. That's up to you. If you want to make sure it's going to stay. You don't need the center one anymore because it's dried together. So just the ends, just make sure it stays together. So next week we will put the cover and the insides together, and I will tell you how you can win it. And maybe we'll start something new, because once we put the insides in, we glue the insides in, we have to let it dry again. So this is what you could do till next week, is make sure the insides is glued up and finish your cover. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to... Oh, Blue Lagoon, yes. There's all kinds of colors. I mean, this is Blue Velvet, Mint Sparkle. I will be using all of these. Peacock. There's gold and silver, and there's an Indian pink, electric violet, all different colors. As you can see, I got them swatched out here. This is a matte color. Here's a rich copper. Let's see. Aged brass. The metallic, like the copper and the brass and the gold, I will wait till the end. This is charcoal black. It's matte. And this one is matte. It's blue. I won't be using any matte colors Rusty brown is matte. This is opal. This is royal rose. If you look at it, it changes colors. So pretty. Same way with this one. It's an opal blue velvet. Look at the way that changes. You see the blue? And this is turquoise satin opal. White gold. I'll show you my favorite. There's that fire ruby we just used. Heather Hills, Sweet Rose, Old Silver. I can show you my favorite wherever it is. There's the Indian pink. Isn't that beautiful? There's the mint sparkle. That is gorgeous. Love the mint sparkle. There's Lucky Emerald. There's the peacock. Mystic turquoise. There's my favorite, Firebird. That is so pretty. Just gorgeous in person. Amethyst Magic. So cool. Anyway, there's a bunch of them. There's all kinds of them. Yeah, so I will be back next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I will set up a reminder. Like I said, finish gluing and finish your cover. And we will put them together next week and maybe start something new. Sounds like fun. I'm not sure what, but start something new. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you Queen Bee and KK for being moderators. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you coming. And if you guys could give me a like and maybe leave a comment to help other people find me. I'm trying to get to 500 because I have some giveaways I showed in another video. And as soon as I reach that, I will have the giveaways. And I probably will be adding more before I get to 500. So if you could spread the word, I'd appreciate it. California went from winter straight to summer now. No autumn, and it's back to winter. Very cold. Yes, it was chilly here this morning in Indiana. My husband almost tempted to turn the heat on. I told him, no, not yet. We're completely opposites. He gets cold easy and I'm hot all the time. So thank you ladies for showing up. I do appreciate it. And if anybody wants to contact me, instant message me or on Facebook. I'm on Facebook and a lot of groups and stuff. So just let me know. Or leave a comment below that if you'd like to go live with me, it'd be great. I'd love anybody to go live with me. It'd be awesome. Okay, so I will see you all next week and have a wonderful weekend, the rest of the week and weekend. And I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, bye.